Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and they continue with Deus Ex Mankind Divided Blind. Now, I'm here in the basement of this antique shop on a quest to supposedly help Eliza Kazan unshackle herself from Pike's control. That's my assumption at the very least. And I find it to be very interesting, but before I continue, I would like to explore the basement of this antique shop and try to figure out if I can save this guy or if he's even still alive, because it seems that he's strapped to a bomb. I'm kind of scared to open the door because some of the wires go to the other side, so maybe I can disable it from there, but the timer is not yet activated. So first of all, let me take a look at what is in this antique shop. Books, stuffed owls. Wait, Soul River? That's Legacy of Kain. Wasn't that published by Square Enix as well? That's a really cool Easter egg. Yeah, Legacy of Kain, Soul River. Okay, so that's one cool thing. Oh, and that's the companion cube from Portal. Okay, that's already kind of cool. What else is there? Cockroaches, presumably from the exposition of the shop. You know, the pest control shop. Bowling pins, clocks, globe. Frick, I wasn't planning on doing that. I hope that didn't activate. Okay, it didn't activate the timer. More books, drawers. Okay, seeing how the guy did try to kill me, I feel kind of justified in stealing his stuff. Clocks, old papers, chess. But how would I get to the other room? Okay, it doesn't look like I can... Okay, it is connected to this clock. I'm kind of scared to touch anything because the timer is not currently running, but I feel like if I touch the wrong thing, and then it's going to start running and actually kill the guy. I can't interact with those. So, does anything happen if I... Okay, so it's not currently running. It is, however, level 5 hacking with 2 nodes. So that's kind of...
Trace program initiated.
Yeah, I'm screwed. I'm screwed, and so is he, basically, at this point.
Access denied.
Security system alerted. Although, Okay, so maybe the timer is not yet engaged, so maybe I didn't kill him yet. But I'm still... I'm conflicted whether I should touch it. There is something on the other side connected to him. Well, button press. Yeah, that does look very much like something that would engage the timer, wouldn't it? You know, a button to arm the explosives. So I would rather not do that, to be entirely honest. But then again, I don't feel particularly confident about my ability to lock this, to hack this door, because basically I don't have any stop worms, and Oh, actually, man, that reminded me. I can make a multi-tool. Okay, so this should ease my suffering, at least for the time being. I should have thought about it sooner, but okay, this still hasn't engaged the timer, which is good. Okay, I can't. Doesn't look like I can interact with this. So is this a part of a later quest? That seems wrong. Like, how can the game just leave me here with this guy strapped to an explosive without the way for me to help him? Unless I must first arm it by clicking this. Oh. Okay, so this just literally just opens the door, but so not only have I wasted about 10 minutes trying to hack this, but I also wasted a multi-tool opening it in the first place. But how do I help this guy? Like, I can't interact with any of those nodes around here or on the floor. They seem to be mines or something. But it seems weird to me how the game would just require me to leave this guy here to die. Because obviously he's currently strapped to an explosive device. Maybe it'll arm itself if I try to leave. Okay, something is still unarmed. Something is wrong. I don't understand. Why can't I do anything about this? This just closes and opens the door, which is a little bit pointless. And I can't interact with those. Well, I guess I have to leave him here. But that's mightily weird, to be honest. Huh. Well, I guess maybe something will come out of this in the end. Before I continue though, I'm really sick of the backtracking, because it wants me to go back to the other district again. So I think I will advance the main plot just a little bit, just because it might enable another things to do in that other district, so that I don't, you know, if I have to backtrack, then at least I can accomplish something else along the way. I really like the view across the river here.
I needed this.
Here comes the big shot.
I don't want any trouble.
Now, I have two objectives to do at the TaskForce. One is talking with Smiley about the evidence, and the other is actually listening on Miller's communication on the NSN. So I think I'll talk with Smiley first, because the other action is much more surely to result in some grievous consequences. Huh. Okay, again, I don't quite understand how the door works, but...
I don't envy the guy who's gonna have to clean up Gollum City once they've done rioting.
Okay, anything to add from her?
Hey, Adam. I heard about Rucker. That's terrible, Adam. He was our standard bearer. What direction will the movement take now?
I don't know. I spoke to Miller as he was leaving. Told me he was going to Gollum City to talk to the state police.
Damn, I hope he has better luck than you and Smiley did. Because if you think that Prague is bad now, imagine what'll happen if reaction to Rucker's death gets violent.
I'd rather not.
Yeah, Fubar is what'll happen. What a week. And meanwhile, I'm going crazy waiting for Dr. Ozan to get back to me with my test results.
How did it go with Dr. Ozan? She ran some tests?
I swear to God, Adam. These tests they give me are more stressful than being in the field. When I'm out there, I have immediate feedback every second. And when you're doing these tests, they just stare at you and take notes. I don't like it.
Nobody does. When do you get the results?
Dr. Ozan didn't say. I don't know, hopefully in a day or two.
Try and stay positive.
Always.
So what do you think of our new doctor?
What do you mean?
I just wonder what she's really doing here.
Things are heating up here in Prague. We can use all the help we can get. I'd be worried if Interpol didn't send a psychologist. Besides, I spoke to her for an hour. I like her.
It just seems suspicious to me, that's all. We've never needed a psychologist before. Who's she watching?
Come on, Adam, you keep talking like that and Chang's gonna change all the locks again. There are 87 agents in Prague, and I just finished handing out the new keycards.
I should get going.
Okay, talk to you later.
Well, to be honest, as much as she might be a part of some conspiracy in-game, I feel like, you know, if this wasn't a game, and if I didn't know it was a Deus Ex game in particular, you know, with all the conspiracies and plots, I feel like it's entirely reasonable to have a psychologist on staff for an organization like this.
Listen up. There's currently a situation in Gollum City. State police have called in reinforcements to contain a riot that's breaking out.
How bad is it?
Since word of Talus Rucker's death, we've already had reports of casualties on both sides. Police have fallen back to Mere Flats.
Jesus. I'll start coordinating with state, see if there's anything we can do. Could be anything.
Damn it.
Okay, I'll check if...
That's gotta raise some eyebrows.
they are talking about anything interesting in the side rooms. Security. Wait. I wasn't actually here before. I guess it's another exit? How could I have missed that? It seems to go into the sewers. Ah, those are cells. Anyone being detained right now? Apparently not. But still, how did I miss it before? Security Council. UN resolution. Observing the segregation, discrimination and conflicts, international peace and stability. Although the importance it attaches to respect for all human rights, affirming the importance and acting under chapter authorizes the mandatory application of the dampening biochip developed by Taeyong Medical Corporation to all augmented persons. Okay, so this is actually the famed resolution, and already the first point is kind of horrible, because you're having a chip forcibly implanted, which you don't know how it works, and if you did, then it wouldn't be anything better for you, because it's made by the literal Illuminati puppets who tried to take over humanity with the exact same scheme in the past, you know, implanting everyone with a chip. So that already doesn't sound good. Urges all member states to make provisions are treated within 24 months of adoption and to provide them with the necessary legal documentation to prove it. So this is about ensuring that the first point is fulfilled. Safeguard their population who refuse to implant by cornering such people into safe, secure, segregated districts. So you do have a choice theoretically to not get implanted and instead get deported into a ghetto, which ironically is actually probably a better choice, because I definitely wouldn't like to be implanted with a Taiyong medical biochip. Calls upon government and member states to phase out current policies limiting the rights of augmented people who have been implanted with the chip and to possess Okay, so I guess if you do get implanted, you get some of your rights back as an incentive, but it's still not a good idea considering who's doing the actual implanting. But then again, most people don't know the full extent of what Taiyong Medical have done so far. Why is this one locked? There is no one inside, although there is some blood on the... So I guess this is the interrogation room as opposed to a cell. And the blood on the ground does not make me feel or think happy thoughts, to be honest. Infirmary. Anyone here? I read the computer before. Well, I guess nobody is wounded at the time.
No matter how fast we chase after them, the bad guys are always one step ahead because they're not bound by any rules.
Bathrooms. Cafe. Okay, is the psychiatrist here? Oh, she is. Well, anything to say?
Wow, 2 in one day. Did maintenance take the plague cross off my door?
I'm sorry?
Aria was here earlier, and now you. That's 2 agents to walk through my door willingly. You know, while I have you, I'd love to talk with you about Rucker.
That's actually why I'm here.
You're kidding, right? Because this never happens. Sometimes I literally feel like a dentist.
I have a suspicion about who might be behind the hit on Rucker. A name. iLink came back with nothing,
But maybe I can use some of my shrink-you tricks to see what I can dig up. Maybe draw up a profile for you? So who's the guy?
Victor Marchenko.
Oh, he sounds bad. No sweat, it's nice to feel like I'm part of something. I'll let you know if I have any luck.
Thanks, Doc. I appreciate it.
Okay.
I hope you don't beat yourself up over the Rucker thing. I'm sure you did everything you could. I'll check out that name for you. Maybe it'll be me that cracks the case wide open.
By the way, that's a freaking giant keyboard. Like, compared to the size of her hand. I actually find it kind of ridiculous. But there's also a computer that I apparently haven't hacked. Debbie Connolly, security rating 1.
Anomaly detected. Trace program initiated.
Okay, I should have enough time.
Gotta look at the obvious first, right?
Access granted.
From R. Gaffney at the police. Miss Connolly, I appreciate that your people want to find people responsible for the station bombing. Everyone wants to catch those animals. Need to inform people that for the time being, it's only suspected that the bombers responsible were the same who blew up the police station and the hotel. The state police have jurisdiction and your people need to respect that. Police corruption. Recent article claimed that 1/3 of cops in Prague are corrupt. From my dealings, I would have estimated that only 25% were actually on the take, but the numbers look higher because of how many others just act like Neanderthals. But I'd like an expert's evaluation. Do you have any hard data or is it just guesstimates? Someday I'd like to get a file on every cop on the city. From what my CIs tell me and what I've picked up from that valley, I would say that the number of cops in organized crime's pockets is most likely higher than 30%, but probably below 40, we hope. 1/3 is a reasonable guess. To be honest, that's already like astronomically high, I would say, from real world standards. Man, a lot of additional computers have opened up.
Now Talos Rucker is dead.
Yeah, I guess he won't be coming in for questioning. His efficiency.
And we can look forward to even more bombings.
Damn straight. There's chatter on the web. 3 fringe groups are already threatening retaliatory action.
A lot of new computers have opened up for me to hack. I'm just checking the middle here, but nothing. I don't think anything's here, but there were at least 2 more around those parts. I can go and talk to Smiley while I'm here. I think I hacked his computer already at some point. Yeah. Well, what do we have to say?
Adam! Oh, hey. Adam, what's going on?
Miller sent me to...
Checking my progress? Really? I said it would be done when it's done. You can't rush these things, Adam. Excellence takes time.
Right. So...
Well, I was right. Am I good or am I good?
What did you find?
Oh, just some isolated fragments from what looks like the bomb's timing mechanism. And get this, it's a Stanek.
Stanek? The bomb's timing mechanism was a wristwatch?
Well, to address your incredulous tone, a mechanical timing mechanism is not as silly as it sounds. Security scanners can detect anything with a suspicious electronic circuit, so using a low-tech solution is really clever.
Stanek watches are custom-made locally. I think I'll pay the shop a visit.
It's probably closed. Let's see if I can find you a second option. Yeah, got it. Nomad Stanek, founder and owner of the store, lives in the Davnia Vod district near Pilgrim Station. That's Putnik Nadraji in Czech, I think. Building number 96, 2nd floor.
Nice, I'll check it out.
Great, let me know how it goes.
Okay. But to be honest, I'm kind of scared that I'm going to get caught when I try to hack into the NSM.
All we can do is speculate.
But it is part of the... and it's going to screw something up. But both of those quests, this one and the other one, are main quests. So it's not like I have much of a choice regarding not doing that.
Yeah, we've seen it all.
Ava Cook.
Anomaly detected. Trace program initiated.
We should find out.
Access granted.
Insurance from Elias Chicane to handle insurance of the workshop. Likely to get hit hard on the fire risk angle.
That's gotta raise.
Make sure there's nothing lying around that might cause any issues. I don't need the help. I stored the tools and cleaned out most of the puppets for a retired look. Maybe you could use a few of them to replace some agents at TF-29.
Probably some nuts.
Hazards from Ava Cook to the director. don't want to hear this, but this is my responsibility. The office environment is unsafe. Cables all over the floor, an air vent with a live electricity and water. Yeah, that's right. I've actually, so I guess she's like a OSHA inspector for the company. I've actually walked through this very air vent, and I find it kind of cool and kind of funny at the same time that they do acknowledge how ridiculous it is in the universe. Do understand your concerns, but right now terrorism is beating out office health. There are many things I would like to see fixed, but hiring a professional cleaner isn't near the top. For the vent, sort out the vetted contractors by the end of the week. As for the cables, everyone will just have to pick their feet up. Okay, interesting. Well, I think I'm ready to... Let's just check this. Okay, I don't think I hacked this before. Gene Guy Coultier.
Anomaly detected. Trace program initiate. Access granted.
NSN server room. From Peter Chang. New code is in place. Ask Selena to check if everything's good. Word of advice: if Jim's been talking to Manderley in there, stay out of the way when he leaves. His personal life is... Don't ask him how his personal life is doing unless you want to be chewed out and made to feel like shit. You're welcome. So I guess Manderley is our boss technically, so this is another step in his way to being leader of UNATCO, because this whole organization is pretty much like a proto UNATCO anyway. This is nuts. 4 attempts to breach the firewall. 2 were confirmed collective. People aren't taking security seriously enough. New security protocols, changing all of the passwords. NSN cleanup. To the NSN computer itself and change the access code. Okay, so I will have the access code for this guy as well as to Miller. IT support room code. Generated automatically by 545. Well, actually, seeing how I'm here, might check what's in here. Okay, there's another computer. A server admin. Sounds tempting.
Anomaly detected. Trace program initiated. Access granted.
Password logs. So I just have logs for... Oh, I have logs for Chang's computer, for McCready, and for some Vincent Black. Well, I guess that will make hacking quicker. I can also check where this goes. Worst case scenario, I'll just get a bonus for exploring. Okay, so this isn't particularly impressively useful, but I was going up anyway.
How long is Director Miller going to be in Gollum City?
He told me as long as it takes. He's coordinating with state police.
That explains why he went home to change first. He keeps his personal field gear in his apartment.
Of course he does. He likes his privacy. Is it true he actually lives in a penthouse?
Don't get me started.
Okay, let's check what's going on here. That's Chang. I can't really hack his computer as he's at it. Oh. Or can I? That's kind of ridiculous. Can I? Okay, this is ridiculous. Aphasia. 5, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, this is seriously ridiculous.
Even if they do get compromised?
An MSN card was on your door in full view. The door was unlocked and you weren't there. All due respect, I heard you might be going through some personal... the security is paramount, so he's chewing out the actual director for being clumsy with security. You're right to call this to his attention. Bear this in mind, my personal life is nobody's damn business. Remember this in future communication. Oh, Janus Audio. Okay, that's interesting. Benjamin Scott to Peter Chang. On Audiocom we intercepted last month. Can say it's Janus for sure, but don't preclude it as a possibility. Several years old. Personally think it's him, her. That's not my gut. That's my gut, not science.
It's whoever we're not thinking of.
The area of recording easy to identify, but the data is racked. Sounds like it might be the Jinn, but that makes no sense. Could just as easily be Din, Kin, similar. Progress is slow going. Scrambled. To be held tightly to too much baggage. Right now, an obsession. Effort versus reward is evidently becoming a problem. Let me know how you want to proceed. Okay, this is kind of ridiculous how I hacked his computer in his, like, literally in front of him, and he doesn't care in the slightest. Well,
thanks for taking care of those conspiracy nuts, Jensen. Man, the thought of someone knowing where we are, I mean, I'm supposed to be digging into this Janus hacking collective, but I can't do that if I keep looking over my shoulder, waiting for the next bomb to go off.
Any progress on Janus?
Why? What have you heard?
Don't get jumpy. Just curious.
Janus has officially hacked into my sleep. I wake up trying to figure out who's tracking who. Sometimes I think I'm this close, and then nothing. But I am starting to learn one thing.
And what's that?
The less I talk about how it's going, the better it seems to be going.
You were brought in specifically to track down Janus. You ever work with them in the past?
I'm not one for collective ideals. Chang looks out for Chang. Sometimes our routes ran parallel, ships in the night kind of deal.
Is the collective as big a threat as people say?
People like to romanticize these kinds of hacktivist organizations.
But you don't see it that way.
They're anonymous, powerful, and convinced they have a stranglehold on what's right and wrong. In my opinion, that makes them very dangerous.
How did you get started here exactly?
Miller came to me in prison. Helping him set up a cybercrimes unit was my way out.
That's a pretty good deal.
Sure, if you're looking to exchange one set of impenetrable walls for another. At least in prison, I didn't owe anyone anything. Here, yeah, I don't know. They do a good job of reminding me that I have a lot to be grateful for.
You're saying they hired you because they knew you wouldn't ask questions?
No. Maybe. Look, I do ask questions. A lot of questions. Just not always out loud.
Get some sleep, Chang. You sound like you can use it.
okay, let's continue.
Be careful out there.
Hack that.
Could be anyone, really.
I've managed to track Vince all the way to the repertory cinema yesterday at noon, but the camera doesn't show him going out. There must have been another exit.
Did he meet somebody there?
Art doesn't make
How should I
sense
know?
because of
Dozens of people walked in during the next hour, but I didn't recognize any of them.
It's been too long.
Rucker's death
Even
has
for
got
Black.
everything on the web dumping.
Oh,
Hear from him by tomorrow.
so he's
Won't know
missing
it. The
Vincent
Valiant
Black,
is something big.
one of the agents.
every organization on board until Dart's at it.
You're looking for Black, he ain't around.
Yeah.
Of course.
Rucker's death
I've
has
never
got
met anyone
everything
with
on the
more
web dumping.
secrets than Vince Black.
It's whoever we're not thinking of.
Anything new here? Konstantin, Radic Nikolaji.
The amount of data to ship through is huge.
I don't think.
I don't know. We could put the name of every organization on board until Dart's at it.
I don't think there's anything new. Although I wonder what his comment will be on Rucker's death.
Because of,
Dr. Talos Rucker, former medical doctor and former leader of the Augmented Rights Coalition, now deceased. You know the rest.
Indeed I do.
Could be anyone, really.
Well, let's check this.
So it's that kind of party, is it?
Gabriel Nelson.
Anomaly detected. Trace program
I don't know.
initiated.
Make the most noise. You could put the name of every organization
Access
on the board and
granted.
throw darts at it.
Twofer. Two snitches of yours wound up in the morgue. Too much trying to impress a hooker.
Could be anyone.
And when her valley boyfriend got them, he fingered the other snitch in hopes it would save him. Looks like you don't have a leak after all. The spook. One of our colleagues tried to convince me that Jensen got kicked off the police force in Detroit for killing a kid and starting a riot. Don't buy it. Yeah, you can't trust a guy who wears sunglasses indoors. That's a joke, of course. I don't think it's true, but still. Your man Jensen is one of the more interesting mysteries. How does a guy wound up in a place like this? I know McCready didn't want him. Been here 6 months and I don't know anything about him. Me neither. He's not exactly warm and welcoming. I've never invited him to lunch, and I don't think anybody else has. That's not because he's an og. The man keeps to himself even more than chicane. I tried to ask Jim. I thought her director was going to tear my throat out. And again, I hacked into his computer in his clear view. Like, I find it a little bit ridiculous, to be honest. But I've hacked that. I do have a password for Black's computer, but I've hacked it before, so no point in that. I do also have a password for McCready's though, so if he's not at his computer currently, then it might be a good moment to check it. Counterterrorism, Duncan McCready. Hack that. Ah, this is mine. Nothing new. Og is here. Well, I can't. It's interesting because the rest, they were at their computer, but they still could hack it.
Hey Jensen, heard you had a bit of trouble at the petting zoo.
Come again?
The snatch and grab with Rucker. Guess it's no steps forward and 2 steps back for you too, eh? Isn't that how you put it before?
Right. Only I'm not being tied up by red tape like you are. My problem is a little more complicated than that.
I'm just stating the facts as they are, mate. Although, I am a little surprised you managed to cock up such a simple task, what with you being so, well-equipped for the job.
You think because I'm augmented going after Rucker should have been a cakewalk? You know, McCready, the more I talk to you, the less surprised I am by what comes out of your head.
Is that a fact? You think you know me?
I know your type. You're a front towards enemy kind of soldier. Very effective, as long as someone points you in the right direction.
I'll wear that as a compliment, thank you. And fuck you. Now, if you don't mind.
To be honest, I don't care about his opinion, but I care about the dialogue, you know, more as a player than I do as a character, so I'll try talking with him some more.
Why do you have such a problem with me, McCready? You don't even know me.
Oh, I think I do. I've worked with your type before. You roll into barracks with your solid-state muscle, think you're more capable than the rest of us slobs.
You afraid of being replaced?
Please, mate. They broke the fucking mold when they made me. Besides, I think it's been proven that there's no substitute for good old-fashioned organic clockworks. So, again, if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Again, I don't particularly care from a role-playing standpoint. I would let it go, but I'm kind of interested to where it will lead if I persist.
So no all can ever live down the incident, is that it?
Is this meant to be an interrogation, Mr. Shit-Hot ex-cop? Because you're dancing on my last fucking nerve.
You afraid it's gonna happen again?
Listen, Frankenstein. I lost 3 men. Good men. Because one of you fucking robots had his switch. I warned you about pushing it, didn't I? Still, that was unprofessional. Look.
We all lost something during the incident, some more than others. But the people responsible are still out there, and they need to answer for what they did. I'm not asking you to be friends, but we can't stop them as enemies.
Mismatched tools, bound by a common goal. Is that it?
Something like that, yeah.
Hell, maybe that is all we need. Suppose we just let time tell.
Right. I'll see you around, McCready.
Sure.
To be honest, I don't blame him that much. In general, I feel like the whole prejudice against Augs makes a lot more sense to me in this game, you know, post-incident, than it did in Human Revolution, because obviously, you know, as I've already mentioned, it's less about it's less about some vague prejudice of them being different, and more about a very real fear of a very real disaster, and quite recent, that they were all, or most of them, by that I mean augmented people, most of them were involved in it, so it does kind of make sense to me that he's somehow that he's a little bitter about it. Heads up, he's sending Jensen to Golem to extract Talos. If it doesn't work or something happens to Jensen, we're going to exterminate those Ark cockroaches once and for all. Dubai investigation.
Yeah, we've seen it already.
Reassure me that the new bombing doesn't mean Dubai investigation is going to be given to Muscat. Not a chance, those are our people we lost. I have Miller's work on it. Dubai operation. Put together a mission in Dubai, asked him why we were given the assignment, but he didn't give me an explanation. Shouldn't Muscat be handling this? The reason your superior didn't have the explanation is that he knows better than to question orders. Just listen to what McCready tells you and get on with it. Shooting competition, already read that. Dubai mission. This was sent to all of the people, so I've read those two missions. Those two emails already. Read that as well. Director. Now, I do have his keycard, technically speaking, so... Oh, there's someone's pocket secretary here. Giant guy called here. Wait. This exact keycard was here before about the NSN access card, but I should be able to enter this. Now, maybe I can put the blinders down with like a switch, or... Because obviously I should, I'm in plain view here, so it's a little bit nonsensical, to be honest, that I'm even, checking out this office in the first place. An old map of the world. Well, doesn't look like there's anything here. A microwave. Let me engage the supervision for a second. Ah! Okay, so there's a safe. Okay, so that was already useful. There's also something here. Or was it just showing me the television? No, there's clearly some... Ah, okay, it is a television, just weirdly positioned. Okay, so first, let's try hacking this. How many access points? 1.
Anomaly detected. Trace program initiated. Access granted.
From Joseph Manderley. Credentials problem. No need from temp creds, I sorted it out. Here's the report from the US. Updating 24 hours. Report notes about the incursion at VersaLife. Full forensics pending, casualty data incomplete. Credential problems with NA server. Come on, guys. Was put together to avoid getting slowed down red tape requests. Can't even access server files within our own organization. How does this even happen? It's ridiculous. Jim Miller, director. This is Martine Patterson. Personal follow-up to try and get the issue sorted out. Initial check was carried out within 5 minutes of receipt of your message. Deeper permission glitch. In the meantime, the valid solution is ask Mr. Manderley for a temporary credential. Is this because because the plug? I mean, not the plug. What's the word to use? The machine that I plugged in, you know, that's listening on the NSN on behalf of Juggernaut is interfering with it. Is that what's happening here? Jensen. Reviewed Adam Jensen's situation. Reservation about extending him an invitation, citing the anti-arc atmosphere. Disregard for authorities and difficulties in joint management of a unique asset. Occasionally authorized to manage his own assignment. I feel that all of my pessimistic predictions have come to pass. I'm not suggesting that we dismiss him, but it's time to clearly define his position within the hierarchy. Well, clearly it doesn't like me. Anything interesting in the safe? Seems to be 1 access point as well.
Anomaly detected. Trace program initiated.
Okay, I have like a bajillion years to hack it, so...
Access granted.
Scope. I don't really need that. Well, I guess I could use that, but I don't need it enough to steal it right now. So instead, I'll let it go. Now, if that's all in here, I should be ready to get in here. But I still find it kind of a ridiculous plan, to be honest. Everyone should see that. Like, is nobody paying attention?
Is different, man, so I'm not sure what to expect. I'm guessing you'll end up in some kind of virtual conference room. No one else should be in there.
And if they are?
They'll see you as Miller, so say something snippy and log off.
Okay. Where do I find these stored conversations?
Hell if I know. This is your plan. But holographic recordings take up a lot of virtual memory, so you may have to look in several places.
I'll just have to play it by ear.
Exactly. The whisper chip is still in place, though, so we'll both know when you've done it. Good luck, Adam.
Ah, so it's a holographic projector. Interesting.
This is different.
Okay, this is kind of cool, actually. Still, I'm not still quite sure why this is even necessary. Like, why would you meet in a virtual a conference room instead of, you know, just talking like over a phone equivalent as a like a normal person would. Okay, there's something stored here. Find data towers, use remote hack. But I don't have the remote hack unless I do in this setting. Oh, I guess I do. Well, I guess it's a way to check how it works at least. And how does it work? Aim at a note and press E. Oh, this is really cool and really a lot quicker. I wonder if it works like this in the quote-unquote regular world as well? Because if so, I might actually invest in that. Because that's like a lot quicker compared to regular hacking. Overall, you know, decidedly smoother. So okay, I need to find all the data towers before it replays the conversation for me. But the remote hacking is really cool. I might actually look into that, although it makes me annoyed that I've spent all my points at the regular hacking, because it kind of doesn't make sense to retry that. This is probably going to collapse, right? No. Interesting. But there are still the lasers in the way, so... Damn it. But I don't think it reset the previous tower, so I should be okay on that account at least. I need to find a way to disable the lasers. Okay, so that's 2 of them. Yeah, but the remote hacking is really cool. I should have looked into that before. Okay, so that's where I came from originally. No, wait, can't. I'm already kind of lost, but is it where I came from? I don't think so. Oh, yeah, I guess it is. I came from here, and this is where the first tower was. I just, because I was confused, why didn't I put this out of the way? But it's because I originally went through here instead. I think I'll save this one for last. So maybe I'll find a way to... so this is like cover from the camera. Okay, I've got this covered. Okay, a ladder. It's weird to be a different person suddenly. As cool as that is visually, I'm kind of questioning how much sense this whole segment makes in universe, because why am I like moving some blocks to hack things? Like, that doesn't seem to make much sense to me. I wonder if I can actually die here. Okay, I have 3 of 5. So I guess the next one is simply where the camera was. Somewhere down here. Wait, that's where I came from just before. Okay, so this blocks this. And this is the 4th tower. Okay, so now I... Frick. Is this going to reset all of the towers or just all of the... or just all of the... what's the word? Obstacles. Because if this resetted all of the towers, then I'm going to be... But I can't even access my quest log. So I'm going to presume it didn't reset. Oh. But it closed the thing, I think. Oh, it didn't. So how would I get through here? Presumably I need to get to here from up top, maybe? Which actually could have been done from one of the other locations, right? I actually was up there. I just didn't find a way to, because I was walking on the like pyramid part of it. Although I do wonder what happens if I just... Yeah. So how do I make it... No, stop. Is it going to ever stop on its own? Or do I need to like find a special panel? I can't jump in here. Okay, that kind of works as well. Is he watching it in this speed or is it a montage?
Sending your team to Dubai was my call, but now we need to go by the book. Focus on Ark.
You want me to pin all of this on them? The bombings in Prague, the break-in at VersaLife, Dubai?
Officially, all 5 attacks involved augmented terrorists. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. But send the reports if you want me to prove it. Because Ark doesn't operate in North America.
I feel like I've read that in written form already, so I'm not sure why this is news.
Place call Hong Kong Alpha 10 priority message.
Oh, he's going to call Bob Page? Yeah, right.
We've got a problem. Miller wants to see a report on the break-in.
What break-in?
The one your San Francisco research facility is supposed to have any day now.
What? What exactly did you tell him? Never mind. I'll take care of it. In fact, it may even help me clean up a related incident. What have you heard from our man inside Ark?
Not much. He has to be careful transmitting. Rucker may be on.
Is that Marchenko? That would be too
Then
obvious.
It's time for him to use the orchid.
Or was it? Would it?
Tell him.
Killing Rucker. Are you sure it's a good idea? I mean, it'll certainly make things easier during Phase 2, but...
Are you doubting me, Joseph?
I'm merely concerned that the rest of the council might not like your call. They seem less cohesive these days.
Rucker's death may upset some of them. But at this juncture, Brown is the only person we pay attention to. Once Rucker is dead, I'm positive he's going to make his move. Do it!
End call. Alex, did you get all that?
Hell yeah. Don't tell me this isn't the proof we're looking for, Adam. This is big. Janus needs to hear it.
I want to talk to him this time. Set it up. Let me know where.
It'll have to be somewhere safe. Leave the task force when you can, and I'll contact you with a location.
Well, first I should probably leave this room.
Adam, what are you doing in here?
I feel like Jensen has a pretty good poker face, so I'll try this. I am doing my job. It's just not this job. It's my other job.
My job. What about you?
I'm sorry that I wasn't questioning you. It was meant to be jovial. Guess I need to work on my timing. Anyway, I'm leaving a message for the director, asking if he's heard from Vince Black, our organized crime division head.
Black's still deep undercover inside the Diwali organization, isn't he?
The kind of deep that can be hard to swim back from sometimes, yeah. He's supposed to meet with me once a week so I can bring him back into the shallows, only he never showed for our first meeting.
From what I know of the Diwali, their influence extends outside of the Czech Republic. Maybe he's out of town.
Maybe. Maybe you could find out?
Well, I imagined I would be going to the Diwali territory at some point.
Sure, I think I can do some digging around for you. When was the last time you heard from him?
First and last time was in his office a few days ago. He seemed antsy, kind of nervous that I was there, you know?
Well, then maybe I'll poke around his office a little while I'm here.
Why stop now, right? Well, listen, Adam, Lyon's waiting on my initial batch of reports, and I'm sure Director Miller wouldn't be too pleased to find us standing in his office, so... Unless there's something else, I think this is where I'll check out.
Is there anything in Black's psyche, Val, that leads you to believe he's capable of maybe undermining the task force? Is there a chance he's gone off reservation?
Human beings are predisposed to damaging everything they come into contact with. Of course he's capable. As am I. As are you.
So these evaluations you conduct with him, they're useless in determining a course of action he might take.
I don't have a crystal ball. And Black's last eval predates my arrival here. Nonetheless, it's still helping me understand what he's dealing with on a subconscious level. That he may be in trouble. I wish I had something more concrete for you to go on.
Leon?
You mentioned Leon is expecting your first batch of reports. You don't answer to Director Miller?
I'm a civilian employee, specializing in habituating deep cover operatives.
You're not an agent. So why did you choose to work with badges?
I started out working for LIM International, helping patients cope with the emotional strain of augmentation. After the incident, I needed to change my focus. Interpol was looking, so I moved my clinic to the public sector.
So you answer directly to Joseph Manderley?
It was Joe's idea to get a psychological clinic up and running inside our field offices. But listen, Adam, I have a small mountain of agent files to process, so if there isn't anything else...
Joe?
Joe, huh? Sounds like you and Manderley are close.
We're close because I used his first name?
Well, you said you joined TF-29 after the incident. I assume that maybe you and Manderley started together when the TaskForce was launched.
No, I arrived after Joe did. Look, Adam, we should probably get out of here, don't you think?
I'm not sure if this is wise because must have some pretty influential friends pulling strings. Because if she tells him that I've been asking, then they will know I am onto them. Although, don't they already know that? Like, I've literally been thwarting them for half my life, you know, back in Human Revolution and now. So, I'll try it.
Yeah, you're probably right. I am curious, though, where Manderley came from exactly. Heard he jumped over quite a few heads to get to the big chair at TF-29. Must have some pretty influential friends pulling strings.
Why the interest in our boss?
I'd just like to know who everyone is.
If Joe had help, I'm sure it was from people who share his vision for what this task force could become. Anyway, listen, I really do think it's best if we get out of Miller's office before he returns, so if you'll excuse me...
Excuse me as well. Now, there are two things that I find kind of weird. First of all, I don't really understand how could I witness the conversation between Manderley and Bob Page if Miller was no longer there. That's one thing. And second, I feel like the game is trying to very strongly convince me that it was Marchenko that killed Rucker, but if it really was, then the evidence is sort of so overwhelming in that regard that it's almost, it seems implausible, like it seems like an obvious red herring. So I wonder where that will go. But this episode has been long enough, so I'm going to search the office in the next one, and for now, that's everything for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!